Going on, everybody? Harrison Graham back with another episode here on Chicago Bears Now as we get closer and closer to the NFL Draft. On today's show, I got 5 draft trade ideas that I cooked up for you guys. Some based on the latest reporting and just, a couple of ideas that I think could make some sense both for the Bears and for the teams that I have them potentially trading with. So let's go ahead and get to my first trade here, and it is one we discussed earlier on the show. If you missed that video, go check it out. A lot of it based on Adam Schefter's reporting earlier today, but a trade-up idea with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So here's the idea I cooked up, and then for each of these trades, we'll kind of look at some players that the Bears could target with the new pick that they are acquiring. You swap 10 and 5, move up 5 spots. Bears get a 4th-round pick as well. Jags get a 2nd-round pick. In terms of moving back as well to add a premium pick there. And I kind of like this trade, if I'm being completely honest, because it gives the Bears a pick in each of the first 5 rounds, whereas right now you have pick in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, none in the fourth. Obviously, you'd rather have 2 seconds than no 4th-round pick, but this kind of evens out when you're picking for the Bears and you're able to move up into the top 5 and get a premium player of your choice. The draft value chart checks this out. For both teams, it's a fair trade. Bears pay a slight premium, but that's to be expected inside the top 10. And in a normal draft, to move up from 10 to 5, there's a decent chance you'd have to give up a future first or certainly not get an additional pick back like the Bears do in this trade. So I definitely do not mind it at all. Now, 2 guys I think the Bears would consider in this spot, and if they did it, obviously on draft night, I think they would narrow it down to 1 guy. But to me, you would either move up for Ashton Jeanty, the running back out of Boise State, or Mason Graham, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. Obviously, this assumes that the first 4 picks are kind of the latest chalk rumors, which are Cam Ward 1, Travis Hunter 2, Abdul Carter 3, and then Will Campbell to the Patriots at 4. I do think, based on the intel we've gotten and just kind of my gut feeling with Ben Johnson being the new head coach, the idea of wanting to get a premium running back to pair with DeAndre Swift. I think the Bears like Jeanty more than Graham. I've got Graham slightly higher overall, but I think for the Bears specifically right here, right now, I would understand the appeal of doing this for Jeanty, and I would probably even lean that way if you're going to make this trade. But I'd be cool with either of those players, and I do think those would be probably the 2 guys that you would make this move up to number 5 for. So pick one. If you're making this trade to move up from 10 to 5, or just in general, say both are available at 10, who would you rather take? Type AJ for Ashton Jeanty, MG for Mason Graham. Pin comment on today's show. Let me know down in the comment section below. All right, trade idea number 2. It's going to be a trade down with the Indianapolis Colts, who own the number 14 pick in this draft. Pretty cut and dry, this one. Move down 4 spots, pick up a 3rd-round pick, number 80 overall. Works out in the draft value chart as well. And the Colts have been heavily rumored to wanting a tight end, so maybe they would move up to 10 for Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland. Now, full disclosure, if the Bears were picking at 10 and Tyler Warren is there, I would probably just take him. But, if they don't want to for whatever reason, or if it's just Loveland is remaining and they're like, you know what, we like Colston Loveland, but we'd rather add a 3rd-round pick and then still get a player that we like at 14. I could see them going that route as well. Potential players you could get at 14, Kelvin Banks, a player who's gaining a lot of steam, it sounds like. I don't love it at 10, but at 14, when you're adding an extra 3rd, I certainly would be okay with it. Amarian Hampton, the running back out of North Carolina. Again, don't love it at 10, but if you trade down, get another pick, I like it. Mike Green as a player, I'm fine with at 10. The biggest questions there are the off-the-field stuff, which has been well documented on this channel. Micah Williams, same deal. Okay with it at 10. Like it a lot more in a trade-down scenario. Then same with Walter Nolan as well. Interior disruptive player. Those are a few names, I think, excuse me, to keep in mind if they were to move down a handful of spots, pick up an extra pick, and then select a player. Okay, the next one will be a trade down with the Seattle Seahawks, who own the number 18 overall pick. Before we get into the reasoning of that one, I do want to tell you guys about today's show sponsor, which is Game Time. The official ticketing partner of Bears Now by Chat Sports is Game Time. And with baseball in full swing, if you want to go check out the Cubs, the White Sox, be sure to get your tickets with our friends at Game Time. The Cubs, by the way, this week, a couple of awesome matchups at Wrigley. They're off here today on Monday, but they got the Dodgers in for a couple of games, Phillies for the weekend series as well. So a couple of premium kind of primetime matchups in the NL at Wrigley in the city today. So some good opportunities there. White Sox are on the road most of this week, but early next week back at Guaranteed Rate Field. Always can find good prices there. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Even for like NBA playoff series, want to go check out Bucks Pacers. Both of those are pretty close for those living in the Chicago area, or if you're in other parts of the country, want to go check out NBA playoffs. You can get good prices on those with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seats, and the lowest price guaranteed. Guaranteed takes the guesswork out of buying your tickets, regardless of the event, sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for those events. So download the Game Time app today. Use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase only right now. That's code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. All one word, CHATSPORTS. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, trade idea number 3 with the Seahawks. Similar to the Colts one, but getting a second back instead of a third since we're going from 10 to 18 this time. Bigger fall off. So I get 52 from Seattle, which was the pick Pittsburgh sent to the Seahawks for DK Metcalf. I mentioned Kelvin Banks seems to be gaining steam, emerging as the third O-lineman in this draft after Will Campbell and Armand Mimbu. Seahawks need offensive line help. Banks kind of a guard tackle flex option there. Seattle has question marks in the interior. They like Abraham Lucas at right tackle, but he's had some injury concerns, so he'd give them an option over there. He could play guard as well, so I could see Seattle moving up for an offensive lineman potentially in this draft. As far as the Bears options at 18, a couple of the ones that I would consider at 14 as well that could still be there. 18, Hampton, Williams, and Nolan, who we talked about. Josh Connerly Jr., I think, could be someone that's in the conversation. I think he could be in the mix at 14 as well. I'll throw Jahad Campbell in there. Linebacker isn't the Bears' top need, but it's an underrated need. And, again, at 10, I think that's too rich, but really dynamic player, can play off ball. You can use him as a blitzing linebacker, situational edge rusher as well. So he's got some versatility, the linebacker out of Alabama. Okay, we have a couple more trades that we'll get to in just a moment, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're dropping content every single day, multiple videos per day, getting you guys ready for the NFL draft. And, of course, with the draft, we'll be live for all 7 rounds. So hit that sub button, turn on notifications. We got you covered here on Chicago Bears Now. Okay, trade idea number 4. It's a trade up with the Carolina Panthers. Adam Schefter mentioned the Jags, who we talked about earlier, and the Panthers as 2 teams inside the top 10 that could be looking to trade down. So kind of a minor trade up here, obviously just moving up 2 spots. Bears get number 8 and a 4th-round pick, number 114. Carolina gets 10 and 72. So you kind of swap a 3rd and a 4th there for the Bears to move up to number 8. That value kind of similar to what the Bears did a couple of years ago, moving down 1 spot to get a future 4th when they traded with Philly to take Darnell Wright at number 10. And to me, there's 6 what I would quote-unquote premium players. You could throw Armand Mimbu in there as well. He's kind of right on the border for me, but Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, 2 guys you have no chance of getting, but wanted to include them. Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty, Will Campbell, and Tyler Warren. To me, those are the 6 premium players in this draft. Well, if you trade up to 8, maybe you could get one of those 6 players. It's going to be tougher for one of those guys to fall to 10, certainly a scenario, but if only one quarterback goes in the top 9 in the latest buzz, I feel like that could be the case with the Saints being the wild card. It feels tough for one of those 6 guys to be there at 10. But at 8, maybe one of them is left, and the Panthers are cool moving down a couple of spots, and you're able to get that guy. Maybe that guy's Tyler Warren, and you're worried the Saints would take him at 9. I don't think Carolina would take him at 8, but the Saints could maybe take him at 9. So that could be something the Bears look into. I don't know if Jeanty would fall to 8 or Mason Graham, but maybe Tyler Warren would. Or, if you want to throw Armand Mimbu into that discussion, he could still be there if the Jets pass on him. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Okay, the last one is a trade down with the Steelers, probably the biggest QB-needy team in the NFL right now. So here's my trade idea. Obviously, trade down from 10 to 21. You get Pittsburgh's 3rd-round pick as well. They don't have a 2nd-round pick. and you get a second next year. I thought about doing a first next year, but if you do that, then you're probably not getting a pick this year, or maybe you're getting like a fourth or fifth or something like that. And I don't want to drop 11 spots for only a first-round pick next year, especially in a draft where the value just drops off a little bit here. And on top of that, I already don't think Pittsburgh's going to trade up for a QB, but if they do, I don't think they're giving up a future one. So you get a 3 this year, a 2 next year, drop down from 10 to 21. You'd have the ammunition to move back up into the early mid-teens if you wanted to, or you could stick and pick at 21 and just take that extra capital. Again, not expecting this really on either side, but if there's no premium players left at 10 and you kind of feel like the value's the same or not that much different between 10 and 21, and who knows, maybe Pittsburgh between now and the draft doesn't like their chances of getting Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they get a little antsy on draft night. They go up and get a guy like Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart. So you never know what could happen. Teams always get desperate on quarterbacks. And while Pittsburgh is pretty buttoned up and not typically a desperate type of team with their actions, hey, who knows? You never know how it could play out. Okay, is trading up or trading down more likely in your guys' opinion? Type U for up or D for down. Throughout this draft process, I would have said down is more likely. I'm kind of thinking the opposite. I'm kind of thinking trading up from number 10 is more likely than ever. Now, I'm not going to say that's the most likely scenario of trading up, trading down, or staying and picking. Sticking and picking just based on probability is always going to be the most likely. But if you ask me what's more likely, up or down, I think trading up and going to secure that blue chip player is going to be a more likely scenario for the Chicago Bears. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Bears Now by Chat Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the love and support you guys have continued to give us. We are getting closer to the draft. Exciting times. Bear down.